Need a sip of Celsius for this video. 2023 is around the corner. So you know us, this is our time of the year. This is when we make things happen. This is when we get so prepared mentally, physically, and we start manifesting the life we deserve. Now, this isn't gonna be the typical how to prep for the new year video. We're not talking about how to organize your home and your junk drawer. We're not talking about taking out the trash and mopping your floor type prep. We are getting into the real stuff. The stuff nobody is talking about. The real stuff that actually produces real change in your life. I started this process of learning how to actually make change in my life in 2020 heavily. I started to study it. I seen change in 2020, but I really stepped it up a notch in 2022. And I can say right now, my life is 100% different. And I look around at my life sometimes and I'm like, what I did actually worked. Like the goals I wrote down, I'm living them right now. I'm here. So there's no gatekeeping around here. I'm going to tell you exactly what I did in 8 steps that you can take with you, apply it to 2023, and come back at the end of 2023, comment in this video and tell me how your life changed from these tips. Okay. Tip number 1 is you have to reprogram your mind in a way that it works for you and serves you for the life that you're looking for, the life that you want, and the life you deserve. If you have any type of belief system that is against you, that is why you're still where you are and not where you want to be year after year after year, even if you sat down and planned your goals and took action. If your subconscious mind wants you to be in a place where it's comfortable and safe and you allow that, you will always end up there no matter how hard you try. Whatever your dream is, if you don't believe you're good enough, you're in your core, like it's a subconscious program, a subconscious thought, you are always going to act out of that space no matter how hard you fake it till you make it, no matter how confident you try to portray yourself or push yourself to be, your subconscious isn't there. And that's what really matters, because that's what everything is filtered through. Take a moment, sit down with yourself and go through all of your core beliefs, your programs, the way you think about yourself that you know that are not serving you and holding you back. And you have to reframe everything into a more positive belief that you tell yourself until you truly believe it. I can go on for hours and hours about reprogramming your mind, but I just did a full video dedicated to this, so I will link it right here. Go watch it. You have to watch that video before you even start writing down your goals in order for them to even work for you. Tip number 2 is what I like to call the note to self. Every single year, I write a note to myself about the past year. I write about what I'm proud of, things that I don't want to take with me that I'm saying goodbye to, and kind of like my mantra, my mindset for the new year. It doesn't have to be long, it could be very quick, but the most important part about the note to self is the picture. I did this in 2020, going into 2021, so this is my 3rd year doing this, and when I tell you, I don't know why, like I cried when I wrote this, I remember. It just gives you a moment to reflect on the last year, and it allows you to see the year for what it was and how far you need to grow still. And it gives you that real raw perspective. And the key to the note to self is you have to pick a picture that you are emotionally attached to. So when you see the photo, it evokes emotion in you. That could be happy, that could be sad, that could be deep, that could be proud. It's a good representation of the previous year. So this year I picked a picture of me in New York in the photo shoot, and it's like a more powerful picture, and it's just a moment I'm really, really proud of. The photo I picked in this one was more of a girl who was smiling but was not happy at all and just was trying to figure life out. I don't know, even looking at this now like makes me want to cry, because I'm looking at her and then I'm looking at me in this viewfinder, and it's crazy how much my life has changed from this moment. I don't know, that's so crazy to me. That is just absolutely crazy. Like from that to this, like this works. I started doing this every single year since then, because what it allowed me to do, like I said before, is see where I was at, say goodbye to things and realize things that weren't serving me, write it down, let it go, and leave it where it's at, and only take the things into the new year that I know are necessary, and let go of the baggage that's just controlling my life. You just feel such a deep relief after you do this. Don't do it when you're highly stressed. Really take your time with this. Put on some calm music and really allow yourself to go there emotionally as you're writing this, so you can feel that release when you're writing this. Now that we understand that we need to reframe our thoughts and we wrote a letter to ourselves, now it's time to set our goals. And this order is so crucial to follow, because I feel like if you skip the first two, you just are still bringing that emotional baggage you had, not dealing with the things that are still kind of holding on to you, or setting yourself up to actually receive this year and actually to move forward without continuing the cycle of the past. And now that we've done that, our mind should be a lot more clear. You should feel lighter and ready to actually write down your goals. So when it comes to goal setting, you need to be super specific, down to what color it is, what it feels like, what it looks like. So when that goal is approaching, you understand that it is go time. So the first thing I always do is I get a new journal every single year. This is called the Within Journal by Tiana. I love this journal. Why I love it so much is that if you're not a journal writer and you need some prompts and you need help, she gives you a whole bunch of prompts to use on a daily basis, which I love and I think is so creative and so cool. In my journal, this is where I keep track of everything. This is where I wrote my letter to myself. This is where I write down my goals for the year. This is my journal dedicated to 2023. Everything I'm going through, what I'm feeling, I like to keep track of it so I can always reference back to this. So if I'm having doubt, or if I just want to check on how I was doing from the past until now to give me a different perspective, because sometimes our emotions can get to us, we want to give up, and then we can look at a journal entry or a goal that we've accomplished and just see how far we come to give us that extra boost of encouragement that we may need. There's moments where I have written down a goal and I totally forgot about that goal, and I will just be reading through my journal and I'm like, oh my God, I accomplished that. That is so crazy. And it just makes me so excited and kind of gives me a little bit of a confidence boost. And then I always get a planner. I'm using the Mind Your Business Planner by Knitson. I will have it linked down below. It has an overall look of my year. This is something I've been doing for years and I absolutely love, and it works. And I'm gonna show you guys how I personally use it. But I love that I can take it out of this journal and also put it in here. So when I'm writing down my to-do list every single day, I can reference it back in here. So let's get into how I actually use this to ensure that I'm staying on track to hit my goals. So I just want to quickly interrupt this video. I am so excited. I designed myself for you free printables for 2023 to help design your 2023. I am so excited about this. I was like thinking about it, like I'm showing you guys how I do it in a journal. Why not just create it for you, make it easy? So these are linked down in my description. If you want to have them, they're free. I just send it to you in your email. So I'm gonna walk you through it really quickly. So the first page, we just have some instructions. It's pretty self-explanatory, but just in case you don't know, it's there. Next one is the 22 reflections page. I love this. I think it's so important to do this step going into the new year because it allows you to kind of look at your last year. The next page is to design your 2023. So I have the mental, the personal, the career, and the finance. I like to break it down into 4 categories because this allows you to get super specific. I feel like when you just have a whole bunch of goals on a page, it just kind of can be everywhere, and you can't really align with the goal and understand how to even accomplish it because it's just so everywhere. And then you guys can just like pin this somewhere so you have a reminder of your goals all year. You want to keep your goals in sight. You don't want to just like put it on a piece of paper, put it somewhere, and then never look at it again. And then the last 2 pages are your 2023 at a glance. This is so important. If you don't do anything else, you need this. I don't think I would be where I'm at today if I did not start doing this. And the reason why I love this, it allows you to take all these goals you are about to write and you place them in the month you want to accomplish it or focus on it. So many people fail at their goals because they try to accomplish everything in January. And then when things are not moving fast enough, they get bored and they no longer are interested and they don't care and they go back into their old ways. It's too much, it's too overwhelming for your brain and it's just not possible. And I think that's the biggest failure of people in the new year. This works so much, it's insane. Like it's the #1 thing that has worked for me. Of course, with also believing in myself and being aligned with my goals as well. I have these down below, check them out. The first thing that I like to do is write out my goals in a list form, and I will show you an example of my last year's journal. So first thing I like to do is write out all my goals in a list form. I get very detailed into this. I'll break it down into 3 sections. I have mental, things that I want to grow mentally in and see a change in me. And that can be showing up more authentic, not being afraid to take up more space, getting outside my comfort zone, being more social, like things that will challenge me mentally. Then I have my personal goals. That could be a fitness goal, whatever you'd like it to be, you can put it there, traveling. Then I do a section just for my business goals and what I want to see in the career area and how I want to grow there. So I break those down into 3. I do a whole separate section for finances. With just having an abundant mindset, I like to get very detailed when it comes to finances for the year, and maybe I'll make a separate video on how to have an abundant mindset, how to manifest money. And then once I do that, this is the most important part. This is what I've been doing for years. You can see, you do not need this planner in order to do this. I used to just draw it in my journal on my own. I'm gonna draw out 12 different squares and put the month in each one. Then I'm gonna take the goals that I wrote down in my journal, each one, and I'm gonna place them in the box in the time frame I would like to see me accomplish it by. And I highly recommend writing it in pencil just in case if you need to move it. There's nothing wrong with that. But what this does and why I believe this works so much, it allows you to hyper focus on the specific goals you have in that box. I feel like when you have these long list of goals, it's way too many for our brain to even comprehend. And it's like we're trying to climb Mount Everest without ever going into training. And that's why most people get fed up, frustrated, and quit within the first month of the year and don't ever accomplish anything because they didn't compartmentalize where their goals need to go and what they should be hyper focusing on. We can only handle so much. If you're trying to do a huge list all in January and you're not giving yourself specific timelines of when you would like to see these things done by, you're probably going to forget about it, or something else will always be more important than that, and you just won't ever see it get done. Each month, write, no more than 3 or 4 in the box, and that's when I know, okay, I'll switch back to this. What am I focusing on right now to ensure I'm able to actually complete these and make these happen? In my journal, I'm going to now go in, write down all my goals, break it down, and then make a yearly chart of when I would like to accomplish them. So I went ahead and wrote down all my goals, compartmentalized them, and then also put them into my timeline. Once you get to this point and you've done everything else, you should have a clear understanding of what your 2023 should look like. Now it's time to get clear on the action that is needed for you to actually get to these goals. So what I like to do in each month, we're gonna start with January, is I look at my goals and whatever I have there, I'm gonna write out a little bit of an action plan. So it doesn't have to be massive, anything big. We don't want it to be too much work, and we want it to be something that you're gonna actually want to do every single month. So when you sit down and you review your goals every single month and you know what you're gonna work towards for the month and you do your monthly reset, this should be a part of your monthly reset. I'm gonna write down at least 3 to 4 action steps of what it's gonna take me to make that a reality. What does it look like to be actually putting in work on the ground, like to actually put that into my life and create the opportunities I need for this to happen for me and to actually accomplish it. For the next tip, it is one of my favorite things that I love doing every single year, and that is, you can probably guess, doing a vision board. I know this is everywhere, pretty cheesy, a lot of people do it, and it's a lot of people's tips, but it gives me a visual on what my year should look like, the things that I'm trying to obtain in the new year, and what I should be aligned with. I create these and then I put them everywhere. I put it next to my bed, right when I wake up I see it. I put one in my kitchen, I put one in my bathroom, I put one in my office. I make it my home screen on my computer. I always put this in my site. And when I tell you I have completed almost 100% of what is on this vision board this year, down to creating a new business, down to getting a new car, traveling, meeting new people, home, it's actually insane how much of this I actually accomplished. And I truly believe it's because it was in my sight all the time. I knew what my goals were all year long. There was never a moment where I wrote down my goals and I put it away and I never looked at it again. Everywhere I looked, everywhere I was reminded of what the life I was trying to obtain. When you're looking at this, it becomes such a natural state. You're used to it. So when it comes into your life, you're no longer feeling uncomfortable at these new opportunities. This is something you've been seeing all year. So when it comes to you, you're not so afraid of it or nervous about it because it's been in your face. For me, I get a little fancy. I like to put mine in a frame, but I want to go over with you my goals from last year and what I've accomplished. Last year, this was my vision board. And when I tell you so many things of this came into my life, and I mean instantly, like starting from January, like this stuff just started flying into my life. There was a moment when me and Roberto in Portugal, and I showed him my vision board and we were talking about it. Literally a couple hours later, I got an email or a message, I believe, and it was like pertaining to one of the goals on here right after we were talking about it. It's so crazy. I truly believe in manifesting, but I believe it in a different way. I believe it takes action. And it takes you to be truly aligned with what your goals are in order for them to come to you. When you think about it, if you're constantly taking an action towards a goal, it can't do anything but happen for you eventually. Even if it takes you a month, a whole year, or a few years. Eventually, if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna reach that goal. If you believe you're the type of person that can receive this life, you're going to start thinking that way. And because you're thinking that way, you're automatically naturally going to put yourself in rooms or positions to receive these things a lot easier. And that's what manifesting is. I am all about the vision board. So it's time. Let's make a vision board. I want to show you guys how I make it very quickly. So for the first step when creating a vision board is I like to personally use Pinterest, but you can get pictures off Instagram, whatever floats your boat. But I just go through and I'll type in things that I want to kind of manifest for the new year. Ooh, 2023, what do we want? One of my goals, of course, is traveling, but I'm gonna put like some of the countries that I would like to travel to. So I wanna go to Africa this year. So then I like pick a picture that really inspires me, that I emotionally kind of connect to, and that's the photo I'm always gonna go with. And basically what I'll do is just screenshot a portion of the video or the photo. So I'm gonna do this over and over and over again, and then I'm gonna make my actual vision board. My goal is to keep getting into fashion more and more. Oh, I love these looks. And get more into the fashion world because I'm just obsessed with it. So I'm gonna put some looks that inspire me, that are unique, that are just out there. I'm loving that I'm seeing a lot of Black women when I put high fashion. Once I have my photos that I have ready to go picked out, what I like to do to make it all kind of blend in is I like to cut them out and make like a little collage. Select subject and you see it'll outline it for you. And I'm gonna go over here, smooth it out, feather it a little bit, shift the edges. And then you hit this little guy right here. I'm not sure what this is called. And then look, it creates kind of a cutout. And I think that looks so much more aesthetically pleasing for a vision board. So I'm gonna do the same thing to all these photos. And then I just make one big collage. This is already getting me excited for 2023. And that's how you should feel when you're making this. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this and then I will show you the end result. So the next thing on the list is creating a little routine for yourself. I know we hear this every single year. Everyone's like, create a morning routine for you to be successful, create a night routine for you to be successful. A lot of the things they tell you to do in these routines are absolutely ridiculous, and nobody in the real world has time for this except them because they're filming a YouTube video. I'm guilty of that. I know the everyday person doesn't have the time to do that. Even if all you have in the morning is 5 minutes. And what you're gonna use this 5 to 10 minutes for is centering yourself and giving to you first before you give to anybody else in your day. Because if you are always giving, right when you wake up out of your sleep and you've given no time for yourself, that's when you start to feel that feeling of tired, fatigue, burnout really quickly. You start getting resentful for things that are going on in your life because you feel like your life isn't yours. And the way that I have personally found to avoid it just through experience is making sure I stick to my little routine that I do in the morning. And I've been a lot more busy, so I don't have time to do an hour. So I'm doing either a 15-minute routine to a 30-minute routine every single morning, and I love it. Mine consists of just the things I need to do. I'm not doing these elaborate things anymore. If I feel in the mood to do it that day, then I will. But the days that I'm super busy, this is what I find super helpful. So I wake up and I go straight into meditation. After my meditation, I was able to think, let things go. I'm gonna go ahead and journal about how I feel and let things out. And so I'm not dragging any unwanted emotions from the day before into my brand new day that I can create into whatever I want it to be. I'm gonna write how I want my day to be. I'm gonna write some affirmations down. I'm gonna write the goals for the day. Then the next thing I like to do is just get outside in nature. I like to go on a walk. And sometimes my walk is 5 minutes. Sometimes my walk is 10 minutes. Sometimes my walk is an hour, whatever I have time for. We're constantly being stimulated all the time and we don't ever find time to be present in the moment, this is where I make time to do so, or else I end up like I was a couple months ago with burnout and just not feeling good with where I was at in my life. Okay, so the next thing I'm about to share with you is super, super important. It's so crucial to reevaluate your environment that you're currently in. Is it a place that is going to uplift you, help you get to that place you're trying to get in life, right? What does your environment look like? What are ways it's possibly holding you back? What are things that are possibly pushing you forward that you want to take into the new year? What are things you want to let go of and not bring into the new year? You want to reevaluate your relationships, people in your life, and the type of people that every time you mention something, they're discouraging or they project their own insecurities onto you. It's okay to take a step back and distance yourself with love, right? You can love somebody, but you don't always need to be around them. And that's just not the person you go to talk about your dreams with, talk about your goals with, to get uplifted. And if you feel like the need to separate yourself from these places, situations, environments, people, then do so. If you can't do that right now, it's not possible. Say you live with this person or you're stuck in this environment currently right now, and it's gonna take you a minute to get out of the situation, that's okay. Do not let it affect the way you think about yourself and where you're going. Just because someone says something negative, you don't actually have to accept it. They're most likely saying things to me out of an insecurity that they have not yet dealt with, and I don't have to accept it. I don't think of myself that way. So why should I let someone else determine or try to change the way I think about myself or stop me from getting where I want to go? You don't need anybody else to tell you you're good enough to do that. You have you. And the most important thing is that if you believe in you and you back you, you'll get anywhere. So it's such an important time to reevaluate your environment, who you're around, and start visualizing what you want your environment to look like and who the type of people you want to be around to make things happen in your life. This is something that I like to do at every end of the year and just have a clean, fresh start when January comes. And that is it. That is how I am personally prepping for the new year. I hope these tips really help you and you can take them on to the new year and see a huge difference from versus your life now. And when we start approaching 2024, let me know what you're most excited about for the new year. Write down your goals and let's support each other. I'm so excited to see what you guys are getting up to this year. You know me, we are all in the mode of elevating. So to get the most out of this though, make sure you're starting at tip number 1 and then all the way down. That's where I see the true difference in when it comes to actually getting the life that I want for myself. That is it. I can't wait to see what you guys do in 2023. If you guys are wanting to learn more about how to reprogram your mind, make sure to watch this video right here. I'm also going to be coming out with more stuff on that because I think it is so important and the reason why a lot of people find themselves in the positions they are in today because I have not done that step yet. Make sure to go ahead and follow me on Instagram because I'm going to be doing a lot of this type of stuff over there. I love you guys so much and I will see you in the next video. Bye.